Well, hello, these are 5 games you should buy as a parent. I will explain you the reasons why I think these games are so important for a child, the things they might learn. Some of these games you might already know, but believe me, I have good arguments that makes these games perfect for children. The first game on the list is the one that introduced me to 3D modeling, 3D printing, so that should be enough of a reason. We're going to start with Spore, a masterclass of video game design, a masterclass of the beauty of video games as an art. So let me explain you the basics if you haven't played this game before. This is a really old game. It's from 2008, it's from Maxis, but it aged like the finest wine. And I have you a surprise at the end of the video, so stick around for it. The basic concept of the game is really simple. Evolution. You start as a cell and you evolve into space. Why space? I don't know. And that's the end of the story for most of us. But you have to remember the first time you played it. If you were a child, you were amazed by the idea that you can customize your character the way you want it. You either go full violence and eat everything in your path, or you decide to be a good guy and dance with people, or just eat leaves. It's up to you how this creature evolves, how it looks. Every decision has a visual representation. And let's be honest, you can create really wacky stuff. And at the same time, these decisions change the way the game works. If you decide to be a sociopath and kill everything, the game changes to either represent it that way visually and the way the game works itself. Every decision is based on creativity and logic. Every stage of the game changes a bit the way you play it. It's mostly the same, but introduces new mechanics, new ways to approach the game. So it's a constant puzzle combined with the creativity and the concept of evolution. This game should really have a remake. It's one of the most beautiful things I have ever played. I played as a child, and let's talk a little bit about the creation kit. So as I said at the beginning, this one was one of the introductions I had to 3D modeling, 3D printing. The way the creation kit works, it's so simple, so intuitive that any child will understand it really quick. It's really close to Lego or playing with clay. It's just attaching things to things and maybe if you want reading what they mean or what they do. Apart from that, if you ever use ZBrush or some modeling tools, you will realize the concepts are there. It's not that far from the actual thing, the actual modeling. So let your child give this game a go. It's one of the best games I've ever played. And before we go to the next game, remember to like and subscribe if you like my content. And remember, we have a surprise at the end of the video. And nothing will beat the Spore, to be honest. So let's talk about a silly little game that lets your child have its introduction to RPG elements. And I know we all started with Pokemon, but I really think those mechanics are kind of boring nowadays for some childs. This is more friendly, more active, it's just different. We're talking about Sproggywood. It is available for PC and cell phone. The game is a simple roguelike RPG. It explains itself really easy, any child will understand its mechanics. There's nothing too complex, you just walk, press the same key and you attack the thing, then you pick some stuff, that stuff upgrades your character, you level up, choose an ability, that ability keybinds to one of your 4 powers, and that's it. Nothing more in the combat department. As you advance, you unlock the city and new Sproggies. You have to choose which Sproggies you have and which buildings to evolve. Every building has a passive buff, so the game becomes easier or you get more loot. There are a lot of options in this simple game and most of them are self-explanatory. And as a roguelike, it can be played again and again and again. So it's a game you will invest one time and your child will keep playing for as long as you let him. This is the simplest roguelike RPG I could find. I really enjoyed my time playing. So let's go to the next game. This one is a no-brainer and I know a lot of people know about this game. In case you already know this game, down here there are the times and you can just skip it right away. It's called Scribblenauts. You can find it on PC or cell phones. It's about writing things in your little magical notebook, and the things you write come into the game, and the game constantly gives you puzzles to resolve. On paper, it's a really simple concept. What makes this game funny, at least to me, is the fact that you can put anything wherever you want, as long as it's not copyrighted. For example, if Medusa asks you for something, you can easily give her a mirror just for fun, and see how she turns into stone. It's truly a long game, it has a lot of expansions, and as you progress into the game becomes something hard. I've been trapped in some of these puzzles for something about 20-30 minutes and I'm 30 years old, you know? The game also checks grammar. And this is one of the important points about it. It doesn't punish you. It's not like you made a mistake, you lose, or something like that. It's really hard to lose in this game, by the way. It's simple as learn something by losing. It's a concept that you don't usually see in video games. You make it wrong, and they just continue with it, give you as many chances as you want, without making you feel like you lose. And this makes the game really easy to enjoy. It's not just about solving the game or going from point A to point B. It's about how you do it, and this is the interesting part. You can solve the puzzles any way you want, or you can just create chaos because you just want to see chaos. At the end, it's a game I truly recommend. It's not for everyone, it's a simple game, but I know you should just give it a try. On to the next game. This one is going to be divisive because it's not as simple as the other games on the list. My reason for it is because when I was like 8 years old, I started playing Age of Empires. I did not get anything, but I fell in love with it, and I expended hours and hours trying to understand its mechanics to be able to play it because I like the game. So this is harder than the last games, but it's simple enough for a kid to understand. The game is called Reus, and it's about some giants that create the earth so people can populate places, and they expand. At some point they attack you and they attack each other. It's a really fun game and a fun concept. It requires a little bit of reading. I would recommend it for kids over 8 years. The core mechanic is as simple as this. You terraform places, you put powers, and it evolves. You evolve your giants by evolving the little towns that came to inhabit the modified place. And you evolve these little towns by terraforming the place, choosing which kind of resources, where you put them. It needs you to think about balance, who you help, how you help them, which resources you put where. It's kind of a funny little game about balance. It constantly makes you think about what are you doing, why the people is reacting the way they are, why are they attacking each other. It's really interesting to see how they react to your choices and how you resolve the issue that you created. And I know the game seems complex, but it's really simple. I think a child can understand the game. My personal opinion is that kids are smarter than we think. We should challenge their minds, how hard they can go into a game like this. If your child really enjoys this game, understands its mechanics, who knows, you might have a partner for more complex games like Age of Empires or Age of Mythology. And I want to mention that the surprise is on the way. And I do have an honorary mention. It's not going to be as simple as the other ones we talked about, but I think it's a really important game to be played by a teenager, not so much by a child. And if you liked the video so far, you will really help me with a like and a subscribe. But enough announcements, let's continue. This one I just couldn't resist. I don't have a child, but I wish to whenever I play this game. I played with my girlfriend, with some friends. I can't just imagine how funny it'll be to be a chef with my son, to be constantly screaming, to be constantly telling each other, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. The emotion, the adrenaline that you feel while playing this game, it's beautiful. If you already know this game, just skip it again. I'm going to explain it for the rest of us. The game is Overcooked. It makes you and your son both chefs. So you receive an order and you have to pick the ingredients. You chop them, grill them, boil them, whatever the dish needs. It's simple enough, but the game has a timer, and each dish has a timer as well. And you start to feel the pressure when you can't give the food to the customers, and they keep adding more complex systems to be able to feed the customers. Like for example, you need to wash the dishes, or you're in a pirate ship and it moves. So you have to be constantly taking into consideration the map itself. It gets to a point where you both have to be on the same page. Just a really fun experience. The best thing about this game is that you can either play it by yourself, with your son, with your wife. It's up to 4 players, so you can all be a family of chefs. Enough about chefs, let's go to the surprise. I'm sure you remember Spore, the first game of the list. The game just keeps getting better. Just imagine this. You can 3D print your creatures, but just imagine how cool it is to be able to create whatever you want inside a game you really enjoy and then print it as a toy. It's a world of experiences just inside one game. That's one of the things I really love about Spore. But I'll leave a link down below to a video that explains the whole process. I will just add a subdivision surface to the final piece so it comes a little bit smoother. I do have on the works a tutorial about how to use Minecraft as a 3D design engine. Tell me in the comment if you would like that kind of a video. And now to the last game. This is a really kind of special game for me. I do love reading, I do love philosophy, so when you combine it with video games, it's just a sell for me. The game is called Another Adventure. I won't talk that much about the game. The game goes about the idea of the absurd. If you want to know more about it, just look on YouTube a video about it. But the cool thing about this game is that I find it a way to explain such a difficult concept to a teen, to help them with this feeling of a void we all have at some point in our lives. So after they get books like The Guardian in the Rye, which is not a bad book, get your teens on this game or play it by yourself and then you make a decision. But I do think this is a good way to kind of explain such a complex idea. If you like the video, like and subscribe. I'll be uploading every 2 days. See you later.